marketing background. Little caveat that was left out of my bio, though, and it's definitely related to what we're talking about today, is that I actually had 2 years in the working world. I worked for Netflix for 2 years. I learned how to make hot pockets and other interesting frozen foods and stuff like that. Heard some HR folks sitting over here, so I worked in HR for a couple of years, managing a training program there. So not only was I in the business school, but I got to do some corporate recruiting, so I can go from both perspectives of understanding what it's like to be in the search of a job, challenging, and so you all are being very proactive, and I applaud you all for being here tonight and looking into what we're talking about. But also I've been a corporate recruiter for a couple of years as well, so I can tell you what recruiters look for since I've been one, so hopefully that'll be helpful to you. But tonight we are specifically talking about job fairs, particularly an internship fair that is coming up in our office, the Office of Career Management and College of Business. Some of you are not business majors, that's completely fine, but you probably will go to some sort of job fair at some point. And so we'll try to keep it still somewhat general, but also the business majors in the room, you may want to attend this event this Thursday. Alright, so the event is Thursday, January 15th from 11 to 3:30. It's at the Blackwell Hotel, which is a nice, beautiful hotel on the Fisher campus. And it's intended for Fisher students who are looking for internships. If you are a community ecology major looking for an internship, you can come. You just probably won't find employers who are necessarily looking to hire you. But if you want to come in and talk to folks, certainly you can. It is an internship invitational. There are 28 companies that will be represented, and primarily looking, again, for business students. So what is an internship fair? Internship fair, job fair, those events are intended to be networking events. You typically will not be offered a job right on the spot at an internship fair or at a job fair. Networking is basically name dropping, getting to know the other people, trying to make a ground roots effort to get to know other people, other potential employers. It's not an event, again, where students will receive offers. The purpose, though, is to help you meet some potential employers. You can start to gauge whether or not you think you're going to fit into the organization a lot by who the recruiter is. If you're not feeling a lot of connection and chemistry with the recruiter, that may be an indication that you're not going to really fit in with that organization, but there's other organizations out there. It's an opportunity to introduce yourself and make that ever so important first impression, and we're going to give you some tips as to how to go about doing that. And it's also an opportunity to make some contacts that you can follow up with later in your career. So if you're sitting here thinking, well, I'm a freshman, I'm a sophomore, should I really go to this? They're probably not even going to be hiring me. Potentially true. It is difficult after your first 2 years to get an internship. However, it is not impossible. It's a great way to say, hey, I am so-and-so, and I'm going to be looking for an internship. Do you have anything? And if they say no, then you can say, great, keep me in mind for next year. Because there eventually will be a time when they will be prepared to hire you. So, a successful career fair has 3 parts, and I'll be talking about the first one. Audrey will take over the last 2. Before the career fair, there's a lot of prep work that is involved to really help you make the best use of the time and really take advantage of the career fair fully. Then, of course, during the career fair, you execute this plan, and then after the career fair, an important piece that a lot of students don't do much of, and I can speak from experience on this, is the follow-through. Actually going back to employers and saying, hey, we met at the career fair, this is what we talked about, and what are my chances of getting a job? So we'll talk about that more in a second. So, for the fair preparation, and it's real important. So the first thing to do, if you're a business student, utilize Fisher Connect. That's our standard computer software that we use that tracks a lot of companies that are going to be coming in to interview on campus. You'll see when their interviews are on Fisher Connect. Part of using Fisher Connect, though, requires you to become quick. And if you don't know too much about that, I'm not going to elaborate on that. But business students, make sure you go through that mock interview process and do those quick modules. Real important, and it's really critical for you to prepare in advance that step. So update your profile, update your current resume. Having a current resume is really, really important. If you don't have whatever you did last summer on your resume, you need to be updated. You worked over the winter break, update your resume. All real important. And then get your supplies together. Over there, it's worth the $20 or whatever it is to buy one of these when you go to a job fair. And speaking to business students or whoever you are, They're just standard leather portfolios. On the inside, you can stuff a lot of stuff, like I have. Business cards, resumes, whatever. Stick them in all these little slots. There's a place for a pen, and then there's a place for paper. So when you walk into an interview, you can write down the questions that you want to ask recruiters. As you go to career fairs, you can write down things that you've learned from recruiters. It's an easy way to keep everything together. You're doing a lot of paper shuffling in general rule if you go from booth to booth. So find one of these. You can go to an SBX or any of the bookstores, but it's real important and it's really helpful to you as you approach your job search. Next part, though, is print off some resumes. If you're planning on going to our internship fair this Thursday, keep in mind we say 30 resumes. There's only going to be 28 companies there. So if you want to be environmentally conscious and not write extra resumes, you probably don't have to in this case. But more, spend some time looking at what companies are going to be there. We do have that information posted on Fisher Connect. Spend some time seeing what companies you're interested in, what companies you're not interested in, then you can guess how many resumes you can delete from there. And the last thing, cleaned and ironed clothes. I'm also going to add on there, polish your shoes. It's a real small thing, but companies do sometimes notice that. Make sure your shoes, if you're wearing socks match your pants and your shoes. Those basic little things are real important. Press your business suit, always wear a business suit. Little things like that are real important. Alright, why are you going to the career fair? Well, it's pretty obvious you're going to try to find a job. And it's kind of a big, important step to find a job. Networking is real important as you approach this. What are you hoping to accomplish? This is something that is real important for you to think about. If your goal is to talk to one company, then you better make sure you want to have a plan to what you're going to say to that one company. If your goal is to talk to every company, then you probably want to spend a little extra time figuring out, okay, if you're a marketing major and they're only looking for finance majors, what are you going to say to those companies? Okay? So get a feel for what companies and industries you're interested in. I heard someone say that they're interested in aviation. Very cool. So it's an interesting combination if I remember correctly. And so if you're passionate about a certain industry, spend some time researching that industry, researching the companies that are going to be there. Little things like that can really make you look that much more impressive when you actually do talk to the recruiters there. I had a lot of students come up to me when I worked for Nestle who said, so, what job do you have? It wasn't necessarily all that interesting. Okay, so having something prepared, and I'll talk to you in a minute about what that something should be, is real important as you prepare. And then plan with the next steps in mind. So if you really like the recruiter, you like the conversation that you're having with the recruiter, make sure that you plan to follow up with that recruiter. If you don't like the conversation, then that may not be one that you want to follow up with. Okay? And make sure that you have business cards, that you grab whatever materials that the recruiters are handing out if you do enjoy the conversation that you're having with the recruiter. So just plan those kinds of things as you strategize the career fair. Next thing, select your company. So what industries are you looking for? What geography you want to work in? If you are new to Ohio and that's the only place you want to be, then make sure that that's a realistic expectation. The companies that you go and talk to are ones that are only in Ohio. What values are you looking for in a company? This is real important. If you spend some time on their website, you can discover, hey, are they passionate about the same things that I'm passionate about? Or if they say nothing about work-life balance, and that's something that's really important to me, then maybe there's not much to fit there. Okay, so spend some time looking at that. And then what companies am I excited about? If you see Owens Corning and you have absolutely no idea what they do, you may want to try to figure out what they do, and you'll learn that